So, for those of you who have been my clients or have worked with me or have watched my channel in the past, especially my clients, for every time you come in and there is a physical issue, a chronic kind of thing, I want to start talking about let's go deeper. Let's go internally to figure out the emotion that's attached to that physical ailment, because a lot of times if we can address the emotion first, or at least just acknowledge it, uh, it can make a big difference in being able to physically work on a problem. I have seen this so many times, and why this is so important is one, there is no compartmentalizing. The body does not compartmentalize. If you're feeling you hurt your arm or you hurt your wrist, carpal tunnel or something, yeah, you can feel it physically, but there is an emotional attachment there. Now, does the emotional attachment always cause the physical ailment? No, no, not always. But a lot of times there is a direct connection. Also, too, if you feel heartache, where does it sit? It doesn't sit just in your heart. It attaches. It's the lack of expression behind emotions, stagnant emotions, unexpressed emotions, repressed emotions. All of those things are still in your body. It's not just in your head or in your heart. No, no, the body will store it where it is, or store it somewhere so that it doesn't just all build up and consume you. Right? So there is a real connection between emotional disease and physical disease. A lot of times one causes the other. So in the last couple of videos I did, they've been geared around the topic of sluggish bowels and constipation. And this is becoming so much more frequent when I work with people. And hello, my name is Michelle Dominique, certified wellness coach and lymphatic drainage therapist, certified lymphatic drainage therapist. And so when I'm filling out my question, or I have my questionnaires, for my clients, I'm definitely asking about lifestyle issues. I'm asking about dominant, repetitive positions, what your work entails you to do. Because when you come to me and you're like, hey, I got this problem with my neck, or I got a problem with my back, or I'm not, my leg, I want to understand all the pieces of the puzzle, not just dive in and start working on your leg. I want to understand what's going on, right? And so one of the biggest issues is sluggish bowels or chronic constipation. And for those of you who don't know this, and so many people don't, constipation by nature is if you are not going at least one time daily, and not just going, but having a substantial elimination, like not the pebble poops or the squirrely whirlies where you got to sit there and, like, if your body doesn't get the sign from your brain like, hey, we need to release, and then you go to the bathroom and comfortably release, that by definition is constipation. And I still have to explain that. It's like I have had to explain that. I still have to explain that a lot, to clients to get them to understand, and that becomes extremely important. I'm not going to go into what happens in the body physically. I have 2 other videos on that, so check those out. But today, we are going to get into the emotion behind sluggish bowels and constipation. I'm going to be teaching, or I'm going to be doing a series on this, a series of master classes on this whole digestive thing. So you can check that out if I haven't posted it with this video. DM me for the details. That's going to be coming up towards the end of this month. But today we're going to cover, because it's not just your stomach. In fact, it's not your stomach at all. It is your stomach, but you got your stomach, you got your small intestines, you got your large intestines, you got your rectum, your anus, your liver, and a couple of others. I'm not looking at I got a pancreas, and the rectum and the anus. So all of these things are part of what makes elimination possible in your body. And we really got to get serious about this. We really got to get serious about this. I keep telling people, if you are taking oral medication and you are dealing with sluggish bowels and constipation, you may only be getting 10% of what the medication or the supplement, if you all are still taking pills for supplements, of what it can do, because it doesn't get a pass. It doesn't get to fight through all that stuck stagnant waste. So let's find out today. Like I said, I'm almost, I feel myself going to the whole physical side, but I have done 2 videos about that. So today, we're going to focus on the emotional side of constipation. Now, I always talk about or introduce myself as a wellness coach and as a lymphatic therapist, but I am also an emotional wellness coach, because doing this work, and I ran across, of course, Louise Hay and her mirror work. I do videos on mirror work, so check that out. And also essential oils, which ever since I began my practice, it's been like 25 years ago now. I've been in LMT, been using essential oils, and then I met a brilliant sprite of a woman, Janet Marquez, who came up with Flowology, which combines the declarations, the essential oils, and reflex points, which were my jam. So I was able to use this treatment to help me when I was finally over caregiving for my mother after medicine tried to save her when she had the best, she had what you want, like the massive take you out, bye-bye. She had that, she was gifted with that, but medicine interrupted that and left her in a state of existence. So, be careful with all these procedures. And also to divorce and custody and man, and that was on the heels of it had only been about 5 years since going through Hurricane Katrina and being pregnant and all of that. So I had let's just say, and my father died shortly after Katrina. So it was a period of about, at least 10 years. At least 10 years where I was just holding on to my sanity by a thread, not exaggerating there. And so through doing Louise Hay and Janet's Flowology program, it helped me to start unpacking all of those repressed, suppressed emotions that caused me to be depressed, right? And when I was having physical problems, and I get a lot of body work done, but when you have emotional overload, sometimes that's just not gonna do it. So this is the perspective from which we're going to be talking about dealing with sluggish bowels and constipation. Now, of course, and I mentioned this in the other video, if you're on a lot of medications, you got that situation. But if that's not your issue, Let's talk about it. We're going to start today by working with the small intestines. Out. I'm going to do each body part individually as they should be. You know, we say constipation and you kind of just point to your midsection and that's it. But it is so much more than that. It's so much more than that. And so I'm happy and excited to be doing this upcoming masterclass on that to help you understand, even though your stomach area is interconnected, they each hold some amazing properties. So also too, we're going to be bringing in the essential oils when they are natural, not tainted, no fragrances or stretchers or preservatives. They really are plants in a bottle. Remember the indigenous peoples all over the world, there were no pharmacies. There were medicine men and medicine women, and the medicine they used was of the earth, the plants, the trees. It was of the earth. And so when you have a quality essential oil that's of the earth, it's that same concept, right? Let's learn how to go within and tap within. And this has been a really great just thing. It has helped me so much working in this way, because I'm really big about not outsourcing unnecessary things, right? Constipation, that's not something to outsource. That's not something to get a prescription for or go to a pharmacy. That's something that you can really work within internal. So like I said, I got to stop myself because I will go into the semantics of that and get back on the physical. But check out my other videos: lubrication, hydration, castor oil packs, lymphatic drainage, all of that on the outside. So today we're going to deal with the inside. Now, let's start, or this video is going to be a little taster of what I'm going to be doing in the upcoming series on digestive health. But today we're going to just focus on the small intestines. Now, remember what I said. We say stomach, and yeah, everything is in the stomach, digestive wise, but they each have their own distinct, unique point. Job. So let's talk about the small intestines. Your small intestines is where the nutrients from the stomach, we'll be dealing with that too, but I wanted to pick the most important things to do these little tester teaser videos on. So when the food leaves the stomach, it goes to the intestines, right? So you know about all the acid and everything in the stomach, but what happens with the small intestines, that's where the breakup starts to happen. That's where, you know, the vitamins and the minerals are pulled from your food to be used in your body, right? So I'm not going to get real technical. I know a lot of times people get real technical, and you know, that's not what this is about. This is about the emotions. Okay, so you can read all about and I do encourage you read about the full function, because it's quite detailed, of the small intestines. But the part that I want to really focus in on today is the emotions. So your small intestines is where things are assimilated so that they can either, one, go to be used for fuel and sustenance and nourishment by the body, or to be the waste, which you're not using, which your body's not using, then gets pushed down to the colon in preparation for moving, right? So you might say, well, Michelle, why, if you're dealing with constipation, why are we talking about the small intestines? Why are we talking about the colon? Oh, because before you get to the colon, if your small intestine is not doing what it's supposed to do, right? So we got to get there first before it pushes, because it's the filter. Basically, it's a filter for the colon, in addition to providing the nourishment, breaking down stripping out the nourishments for the body, it's very important too, and also filtering and the waste, right? So that's what the small intestine does in the physical. Let's talk about the emotional aspect of the small intestine, what the small intestines holds emotionally. Emotionally, your small intestines deals with assimilation of life experiences. Remember, physically, I talked about how it assimilates the nutrients and minerals from the food. Well, that is the same energy it holds in your life. It's the assimilation of new things, of things that are coming towards you, of understanding. I like how Louise Hay talks about, if you guys don't have this book, it is tremendous. You can heal yourself. But in here she talks about um, the dread and fear of the new, the inability to assimilate. So I want you to think about that. Our topic today, we're talking about constipation, right? Not moving, stuckness, stagnation in this gut area. And here I tell you that the small intestines deals with your ability to assimilate, especially to new circumstances and situations that are happening. So just think about that for a minute. Being over analyzing and being stuck, stagnant, sluggish bowels, but being stuck in your mind, not being able to process things, being fearful, wanting things to stay the same, and getting really rigid behind that. Does that make sense? Right? That's like the whole nature of what happens in the intestines when it comes to constipation. Okay, so think about where, when, whether it's current or if it's past, that you had difficulties breaking down the situation. Okay. And so to do that, I love to, we're going to use a really great essential oil, because essential oils, I'm not going to go into this I'm going to go into more of this in the master class that I'll be doing. But in addition to being plant healers, they actually go and they can trigger recall, emotional recall in your amygdala hippocampus region, right? So we don't want to start just digging in like, when I work with clients doing this treatment, I'm going to apply the oil and I'm going to say, okay, let's do a breathing exercise, because I want you to come to a state of calmness. When I'm working with a client, it's like, I know what you're telling me, but I really want you to allow your body to speak. Because if you've seen any of my videos before, you know I always talk about that. Your body is talking to you every day. Your body has an energetic field and it vibrates. There's frequency, and you can learn a lot from listening to your body. So let's do that. Today we're going to use Sunny Citrus. Okay, this is an amazing combination of citrus oils, including grapefruit, wild orange, and it also has peppermint in it. But this is the oil of encouragement. Okay, it's known as the oil of encouragement because of the properties that are in each of its components: grapefruit, wild orange, and peppermint. Not going to go into all of that right now. Going to get this kind of really quick and wrap it up. But this is a great oil to use when you're feeling emotions, negative emotions of being stressed and burdened, stagnant, stifled. It's really great in helping you release feelings of being cynical. Um, let's see, what was the other one in here? It also helps you to stop stressing, being so rigid about things, being more playful. You know, in order to be playful and gay and lighthearted, it's a level of accepting and acceptance of yourself. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and apply this oil. And remember, we're using reflex points for this. So we're going to apply some of this oil on the reflex point for the small intestines. Really quick, if you've never in life heard of reflexology, ancient Asian art, where you can activate, trigger, awaken parts of your body by points on your ear, tongue, hands, and feet. Okay, so today we're going to be using the hands. This little part, I want you to kind of do it, and it's only on the right side, by the way. This is only on the right hand. So this little square right here, little area, is representative of your small intestines. Okay, so let's just take a minute, and we go into much more explanation, but not here. Definitely want to get some information about the class, where we're going to go a little deeper. Here we're just going to do the quick version. So we're going to activate, and this is we've used oh my gosh, I wish this were, it's the smell-o-vision. This is beautiful. The sunny citrus, remember, grapefruit, wild orange, and peppermint are some of the components in here. It's a beautiful blend. Citrus is always so great. You hear me talk about this all the time. Citrus is a great mood enhancer. So this is just beautiful, especially dealing with something so heavy and mucky. So we just want to tap, and I invite you to use your your index finger, because this finger deals with issues on how you feel about yourself, more of self-esteem. Okay, and as we're talking about that stomach area, fear of something new, inability to assimilate or acceptance, feeling rigid and stifled. So we just want to use this oil right here, just activating. And this is where I would lead my clients through a visualization, but we're not going to do that today. We're just going to get right into that point. Notice when you're doing reflexology, and if I have a client and I am doing this session for them, and I am addressing or stimulating the reflex points, what do you feel? Are you feeling any tingling? Are you feeling, like right now, I'm feeling a little bit of a heated sensation, right? Just tapping. I'm not digging. You can follow along. If you don't have the oil, don't worry. I'm holding space for you. So please do follow along and pay attention. Don't dig in. It's nice and gentle. It's just like a tap, tap. Hey, hey. And just sit right there and see if you're feeling anything in your intestinal area. You might be feeling something in your feet right now. It's perfectly okay. The thing is just to sit right here with your body. And we're acknowledging that time. When was not the last time, but allow your mind, your memory to take you to a time when you felt stifled, when you weren't able to digest a situation, a change that was happening in your environment, in your circumstance, in your atmosphere. It could be something that you were directly affected about. It could be something work-related, a change in the company policy. It could be, for a lot of people, it could be a shift in, the world. I'll just say that. I'm not getting into all of that right now, but when was it that you just like, oh man, that thing changed and it just held you back and brought you down, and you just got really rigid and stagnant and didn't see yourself moving forward, all of these characteristics, right? Or of constipation, okay? So we're just going to take a minute and breathe. Breathe through that. Get that imagery in your mind. If nothing popped up, don't go digging, right? We have activated that area. If it's now or after we finish this, just go back, right? You got the video, go back. And we're going to stop and just inhale. Okay. Now, I didn't have you stimulate that not pleasant memory just for the sake of stimulating that nice pleasant memory. I mean, that unpleasant memory. Now, we're not going to do the whole session here, but I will not leave you there. Okay, there's a reason why we wanted to bring that up. The whole purpose is to bring that up and out of your intestines. Up and out. Let's clear. When you're doing all the physical things to get movement in this area, this is the last step energetically. So let's release that in our breathing. That's very important. Breath is very important in releasing emotional energy. That's the only way you really get it out, unless you're doing some big movements, and we're not going to do that here right now. Okay? So I am going to give you a declaration. Some people say affirmation. I like to say declaration. Okay. So when that thought that you had comes back in your mind, because it was unresolved. That's why it was still there, of a time when you couldn't assimilate, or you couldn't let go, or, you didn't remember. The small intestine pulls the nourishment out of the food. When you couldn't pull anything nourishing or enhancing to you out of a situation that you may have been forced to deal with or may have created, doesn't matter. What we're going to do right now is stop that loop of how it didn't work for you, or how you didn't show up for yourself, or what you missed out on. We're going to remove that loop by using this declaration. And I like this one. I think we're going to do a combination right here, because there's three. I have like 4 or 5 books here. I'm going to, in the class, I'll have all the resources listed. Okay, so just holding this time. We're not going to activate. We're just going to hold, and as we implement and put in this loop breaker, right? So that loop can stop going in your head of what you did wrong or how you missed out. I am done over processing. I am done over processing. I release those things that cause me to block my progress, to be stagnant and stifled, whether it's in my decision making, in my relationships. I assimilate the new. I assimilate. I digest. I extract the positive from new situations in my life. And as Louise Hay would say, I agree with me. Just going to breathe through that. Oh, this oil is just activating and stimulating. There is such heat coming from my hand right now. Let's go ahead and shake that out. Right? So it is amazing. Let's go Go ahead and release that. What did that bring up for you? Share either, if you don't want to share your whole story, which we welcome that, because you never know what your share may do for somebody else. You're like, Michelle, what does this have to do with? Whatever came up for you. What was the release? What was the awareness, first of all, that came up for you? When I said, when was a time when you did not extract the nutrients out of something because you were so obstinate about it or you were so resistant to it? What came up for you right there? Was it something recent or from way back in the past? And also to let me know how that release was for you. Did you notice any tingling, any sensation, any burning like I did in my hands or somewhere else? Did you yawn afterwards? All of those are signs of a great emotional release. So play this video again. More importantly, share this video. If you are somebody and you keep trying this and you keep trying that and you keep going here and and it's nothing that's working, nothing's hitting it, it's time to go within. It's time to release some emotions that you may not even know were there. So until next time, I'm also going to be doing demo videos. We're going to do large, like I said, the large intestine, as well as I think it's the rectum or one of the other ones before I go into the full class. So make sure you catch this. Make sure you share this video. This is information that can really help someone. And look for, I'll put a link below for more information on the class, or always, as always, because you know I'm not the most technical person, DM me if you have if you have questions, okay? And also too, that being said, don't forget to schedule your absolutely free wellness consultation. Yep, it's absolutely free. Don't sell products during the wellness consultation. Until next time, it is my absolute desire, it's my ministry and my mission to help you live your best, healthiest life, both physically and emotionally. But I can't do that if you don't reach out to me. So I look forward to hearing from you.